Hi, my name is Christina Crumpton, and my speech is about why you should not use drugs. My speech goal is to persuade my audience to not use drugs. Did you know that in 2012, about 9% of Americans needed to be treated for alcohol and/or drug dependency? Also, did you know that cocaine is more commonly used than stimulants such as Adderall, etc.? The shocking statistics of drug abuse will leave you mind blown. Remember how back in elementary school we had a week out of every year that was called Red Ribbon Week? During that whole week, we were taught ways to say no to drugs. We didn't really know how serious and common drugs were back then, but every time I turn around, I see someone else I grew up with is on drugs. As a relative and friend of a previous drug user, I've seen how they can tremendously ruin a person's life. A close friend of mine got arrested for having drugs in her possession, and now she has been having trouble finding a decent and consistent job. Not only that, but she has pushed all of her friends and family out of her life. And drugs have impacted my life so much, and I've never even used them. After a lot of research, I have found some information about drug abuse, such as the effects, the problems caused by drug usage that affect the future, and some statistics on deaths and incarcerations. My first main point is the effects of drug abuse. Some drug addictions result in diseases and/or health problems that are untreatable. One disease that is commonly found in drug users is HIV and AIDS. Drug abuse can cause brain damage, cardiovascular conditions, liver failure, seizures, etc. The list could go on for days. Drug abuse can also result in problems with a person's mental state. Drugs can change a person's brain chemistry, and drugs can also cause behavioral problems such as paranoia, aggression, loss of self-control. On to the second point about drug abuse, which is how one mistake of drug use can lead to problems you will never avoid in your future. If you get caught with any type of illegal drugs on you, you're going to jail. You will have to pay a lot of money in fines based on your charge, and it is extremely hard to get a job with a possession on your file. Drug use sometimes causes a person to take crazy measures in order to get the drug. It hurts their family and friends more than it hurts them. It causes their family and friends to lose trust in them. My final point about drug abuse in this speech is statistics on deaths and incarcerations due to drug abuse. The amount of deaths in result of drug usage will shock you. 1 in 3 drivers that are killed in a car wreck are tested positive for drugs. The number of overdoses per year are 43,982. There are a ridiculous amount of incarcerations due to drugs. 51% of federal prisoners were in for possession, dealing, or another drug crime, and 25% of the women in prison were convicted of drug offenses, whereas 15% of the male prisoners were convicted of drug offenses. A few things I have found from researching about drug abuse are the effects, the problems caused by drug usage that affect your future, and some statistics on deaths and incarcerations. If the drugs don't kill you, they can make you look like this. That concludes my speech. Thank you.
Very good.